Did Ripple build a new financial system? We got a new clip here from Vincent Scott. You have to hear what he has to say here. We're also going to take a look at if Ripple became the backbone of the financial system, what could that mean for price of XRP? There's also some new information floating around about stablecoins and how if the stablecoin kind of blows up, the network effects could be huge for whatever gas token it is, that utility token. We're going to take a look at some news and information from RLUSD. There's also some information from Deloitte here at the end, and Ripple and XRP, guys. Let's go ahead and get into it. I hope you're having a fantastic day. If you get any value, please hit like.
The IRS took away the house and everything, so I've had basically a blood feud with the system ever since back then. And this system has basically steamrolled over every single person in the working class. We have mortgage delinquencies, car loan delinquencies, and sovereign debt crisis going on right now. And I got a question answered by David Schwartz yesterday.
Do you mind sharing that question?
Yeah, the question was, did Ripple build a financial system? And I went on to explain wherein the unit of account could transmit over a method of payment, XRP, through the means of exchange, through either gas to be burnt for the facilitation of the actual transaction or a money processor in order to convert to whatever stablecoin or tokenized asset that you want, with stores of value as RWAs or anything else back in the unit of account. And he basically said, yes, that is a financial system. Now, what we have in our hands here for the transmission of value and the internet of value, this is a new way of transacting all throughout the world. And what that means for the Federal Reserve System. This system has been propped up by CIA coups, blackmail, the Epstein stuff. It's pretty evil what they've done throughout the entire world. And there's blood on the hands of the people that have put this system upon us, and we need to all get out of it.
Do you think there's a parallel between religion and what we're experiencing with this DLT, distributed ledger technology? Do you think
Trump literally, by milliseconds, he would have been shot and killed? You know, you can't deny at a certain point things of extraordinary nature like that.
Okay, it went religious there. I don't know. I wasn't expecting that at the end. I watched like the first minute of that. I didn't expect the ending there. Interesting. Okay. So David Schwartz did agree that Ripple did build a new financial system. I think that's what they've been working on the last decade. But here we go. I wanted to ask here, if XRP really becomes the backbone of the financial system, what could that mean for the price of XRP? It says, if XRP Ledger truly becomes the backbone of the global financial system, serving as a primary infrastructure for cross-border payments, settlements, and potentially even tokenization of real-world asset, price predictions for XRP range from moderate to extremely bullish, depending on assumptions about adoption, utility, and market dynamics. And so it's just kind of pulling up some information here. Conservative to bullish, 25 to 30. So this next 5 years, conservative is between $5 and $30. It sounds like more bullish is like 15 to 25 or higher by 2030. And then if XRP possesses significant transaction volume, such as 30% of major brokerages flows, models could be that XRP could reach $20 to $30. Oh, so this is the least bullish. This is medium bullish. So some people, right, influencers and community members envision XRP reaching $100, $250, $1,000, or even $10,000 one day. I think we shouldn't even, I think it's a matter of time. When it comes to XRP, it's always been in the top 2, top 3 crypto assets in the world. When you're looking at solving problems for financial institutions, Ripple has more solutions than I would say Ethereum or Bitcoin does. So I would say that XRP would be used in the future more often because you're using it in futures, you're using it in different type of contracts, debt, real estate, all of these different things. You can start doing this on the XRP ledger, and that could create tremendous value. These scenarios often assume near universal adoption of banks and central banks, XRP acting as a bridge for most cross-border transactions and tokenized assets. And then, of course, regulatory clarity and global acceptance. Talks about some skepticism and some challenges. I'm not going to really read through those. Obviously, we know adoption takes time, and hey, anything could come out of nowhere and become the new norm. When you're talking about like the IMF and the BIS and all of these people, they have to test this technology for years. They have to let central banks get into sandboxes together and really, make sure the technology holds its weight, right? It's not just promises, made. They actually have to verify that all this stuff works, because if you're going to use that as a central bank digital currency, or if you're going to launch a stable coin or whatever it is that you're going to do on that infrastructure, you need to make sure it is tip-top shape. Here is a very interesting clip. There is a lot of talk about Salana, but then it moves to XRP. So I know this guy might be a little strange to hear, and you're like, why you keep asking about Sol? But here it'll change.
Solana fee in its digital currency, Sol,
You would pay them a fee.
in their digital currency.
Yeah, exactly. But it comes out of the same dollar pool, right?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
But, I mean, let's say it's $1 million and they charge,
Right.
let's make up a number, they
Correct.
charge $1. I don't know what they
Yeah,
charge.
yeah,
Let's say
sure.
they charge
Yeah.
$1
Right,
for the whole
right,
thing.
right.
That dollar is paid to them in Sol.
Correct.
So if Solana becomes the stable coin
Mhm.
network and it takes off, I should invest in Sol because everybody's going to need to pay them in Sol.
That's the utility point. That's exactly the utility point that I'm speaking of. But when you pay them, this is the big difference. That with a stable coin, it's backed one-to-one. There's not very much capital appreciation. You can believe in the utility of the company and buy stock in that. And that makes total sense. But you're not so much believing in the fact that there's going to be capital appreciation of a one-to-one dollar reserve. Why would you do that?
No, that's not my point.
Yeah.
My point is you got to pay them a fee.
Yeah, yeah.
And the fee is going to be in their digital currency.
Correct.
So like I said, if let's imagine a world where stablecoin really gets big.
Yeah.
And let's also imagine a world where Sol is the Visa
Yes.
of stablecoin.
Correct.
I should buy Sols.
You buy Visa, right? If you buy Visa stock.
No, I want to buy. I want
Yeah.
to buy Sol because
You
people are
could
going to
keep-
need to buy Sols to pay them. But
It turned to souls to sols. So this guy must be a huge Solana fan to just keep commenting on Solana like this, but all good.
pay them, and they pay their fee.
Makes
Here's the
sense.
change.
But you can keep buying them, but there's always a dollar reserve against. That's my point. There is no, how would you have capital appreciation in that case?
What in Sol?
Yeah.
Isn't there more of demand for Sol?
There's demand for Sol, but there has to be a dollar against each Sol that they issue, or each USDC or Ripple coin that they issue. Ripple USD, not XRP, just to be very clear, right? The RLUSD coin. There's a dollar behind
So you're
that.
saying that Sol's going to be pegged to the dollar?
No, I'm not saying Sol's going to be. If there is a stable coin, I'd rather not get into the gritty
I'm
details
not
of
about
which
that
one.
there's no appreciation
Right.
in the stable coin.
Correct.
I'm talking about there will be appreciation in Sol
In the
currency that you are going to have. Make up a simple story. The whole world goes stable coin.
yes.
The whole world only uses Solana.
Okay.
And everybody's got to pay Solana and Sol.
Right.
If that happened, I
There's
guarantee
been
you one
ex-
thing. The price of Sol's going up.
Really? If the whole world adopted Solana, yes, the price would probably go up. But since Solana is 99% meme tokens, who seriously is building on Solana right now? I as a joke, I know there's some serious projects building on Solana, but if you bring Solana up to somebody, the first thing that they're going to think about is, what do you think Solana is? What is the main use case for Solana right now? Ready? Cheap transactions. That means meme coins. That's what it is. All right, let's talk about RLUSD. So if RLUSD gets into the trillions of dollars in value, so that means it's back one-to-one. There's this value that lives on the XRP ledger. We're not talking about RLUSD on Ethereum. We're talking about RLUSD on the XRP ledger because that's where the value will be. So I wanted to take a look at some information on 1 trillion, 2 trillion, and 5 trillion with a 50 to 100x market multiplier. Adding substantial RLUSD liquidity to the XRP ledger with market cap multipliers of 50 to 100x would dramatically increase XRP's price. So, this is the same type about inflows and value being on the ledger. If you had, this is 1 trillion, 2 trillion, and 5 trillion, it is a 50x or 100x. What would this look like for each value category for XRP price? And here are the XRP's price here. So the interesting part is I would imagine as more value comes on the XRP ledger, this market cap multiplier will probably become less and less. We just don't have any hard facts about like true scalability and what this would actually look like and how this, would fix itself. But I mean, even if you're looking at like a 25x, right? And you cut all these prices in half, you're still, you're talking about a 3 or 4 digit XRP, and that would retire a lot of people. And that would be pretty cool. I also wanted to take a look at some information from Austin King here. Fascinating statistics, days since launch for primary stablecoins. RLUSD, this is 171 days. USDC, 2,445 days. And USDT, 3,896 days. These are long-term games, and they're just at the beginning. But we all know here is that USDT is not going to be allowed in America unless they spend some money on what is called an audit, okay? And this has been the biggest issue with USDT since its inception, is they've never been able to get a real company in there to do an audit of their actual backing. And this is why it's remained offshore. I just heard, one of the people, the founders from Tether, saying that they're going to invest, billions of dollars into like Bitcoin mining and some other stuff. And I'm like, You could invest billions of dollars into Bitcoin mining, but you can't spend a few $1,000,000 on an audit. Like, is it even that much money? Would an audit cost millions? I'm actually interested. How much would an audit cost of, let's say, USDT Tether? Big Four company, audit company. I have no idea how much this would cost. I'm actually very intrigued to see. So while that pulls up, let's go ahead and asset size complexity, auditing 100 to 140 billion. Oh, it doesn't have any prices. Oh, here you go. For compensation, large parts of companies, similar asset size, they pay $5 to $10 million annually for the Big Four companies. Now, I don't even know if they can get a Big Four company anymore because maybe they don't want to touch it. It's just, that's a big problem with USDT. All right. Armando Pantoja, he actually has a pretty cool clip here. I want to play it. XRP's moment is near. July 14th. Thousands of banks transition to ISO 20022. Remember, don't ever fall in love with a date.
If you're holding or buying XRP because you only have about a month before this happens, we're on the cusp of one of the most transformative events in financial history. On July 14th, the global financial system will go through a huge change with the launch of ISO 20022. The kicker, XRP is already ready to go. It was built for this moment. It was built to thrive in this new era of finance. Right now, XRP is trading at right about $2, but when this officially goes live, I believe we're going to see XRP hit $8 to $12 sometime this year. Now, banks in Japan, Dubai, Brazil, and the United States are already using XRP for cross-border payments. Listen to this video.
Another one you like is Ripple. You said it is the coin to be looking at right now.
Absolutely.
Why?
Okay, so Ripple actually was the second largest coin prior to the SEC's investigation of them. They did this really weird lawsuit against them.
Okay.
And Bank of America, like I said, they were doing 100% of their
Do you think he's actually watching the clip? I don't think he's watching the clip. I just think he's looking down and shaking his head. But that's me personally. I thought this was kind of fun.
internal transactions. They've got 83 different patents on it. And there's some incredible stuff that's going to be coming out. So
Now, Weebus, a NASDAQ-traded fintech company, just filed with the SEC their intent to purchase $300 million worth of XRP to start a strategic reserve. Now, the part that's crazy, after that filing, Weebus's stock exploded more than 400%. XRP's price didn't move at all. It doesn't make any sense unless something is artificially holding XRP down. Now, there's a lot of people out there that believe XRP is being suppressed. I have to agree, but the thing about suppression is it can't remove value. It can only delay the realization of the value to the masses. Now, think of it like a spring. The more you compress it, the more energy builds. Eventually, that spring explodes outwards, suddenly and explosively. Now, the question is, when ISO 022 goes live, July 14th, will this spring finally explode? So you still got a little time. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts in the comments below?
All right, let me know in the comments below, guys. Do you think July 14th is going to be the day? Do you think that day is going to bring XRP to, he was very interesting here, right? He's talking about, he was talking about XRP's price that after July 14th, but then he said this year. Very smart to, change the words like that. All right. By the way, I've got a free course that can help you become a crypto pro in under an hour. You can comment down below Crypto Sensei and I will give you a link to this free course. Give me all the updated dates for ISO. I just wanted to recheck everything, right? ISO began March 2023. The final deadline for mandating ISO 20022 all in scope for cross-border payment messages is 22nd November 2025. This has been, they've tried to push this back, but this is the hard date. All right. And then reconfirmed by Swift board in June 2024. So they confirmed this last year. The Federal Reserve originally scheduled ISO migration for March 10th. Then that got pushed back to July 14th. Remember, just because they can start using ISO messages doesn't mean they're going to start using crypto, but they do have the option to use crypto. I mean, we know XRP as well as a ton of other assets are ISO compliant. It's really the company behind the assets that, become, ISO compliant, but all G there. Other major milestones, Target 2, which is the Eurozone, Target 2 and Target 2S. S stands for securities. Both these are the same system. The European Central Bank and other major Euro area financial institutions completed their migration in November of 2023. There it is, right? Target 2 is already on the new system and you don't see that as much use. That's why I try to tell people, don't fall in love with any dates. I'm expecting all of this to unfold over the next 5 to 10 years. And I know, that is a long time frame and I would love for things to happen faster, but it would be irresponsible of me to get up here and say, I've done 1,000 XRP videos and on July 14th, XRP is going to be, $15 or $20. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. People have feelings, people have guesstimates, but nobody actually knows. All right. Global SWIFT networks, as of late 2024, 28% of cross-border payments on SWIFT had transitioned to ISO messaging. By early 2025, the adoption has accelerated to 32 to 33%. Connected payment infrastructures and payment traffic using ISO. The number of daily ISO 20022 payment instructions on SWIFT exceeds 1.6 million by April 2025. So they're already using ISO. That is why, you could find this information out just like I am by searching it. That's the frustrating part with some of this stuff, SWIFT has surveyed 175 banks representing 80% of the cross-border volume and confirmed that all expect to be ready by November 2025 deadline. So banks understood that, hey, this was coming for years. They've been working to this new messaging standard for years. The reason is, depending on where you are in the world, what bank you're dealing with, there might be all these different messaging standards. And if your bank doesn't support that messaging standard, well, your bank is not going to be able to talk to a bank halfway across the world. But if we get everybody on the same type of messaging standard, doesn't matter what country you're in, then everything can be interconnected. It says if these banks are ready as planned, up to 86% of cross-border payments and institutions could be shipped to ISO 20022 by the deadline. However, readiness varies by region and institution size. Recent polls indicate 18% of organizations in the EMEA and North America are already able to send ISO messages by late 2024. So they could already do this. It really is what it is right now, guys. It's regulations. It's regulations in the United States. Why aren't they using this, let's say in the EU or in England for some reason? That is a question that I think will pick up over time as crypto becomes more of the norm. But there are countries that are already on this new standard that could already start using crypto if they wanted to. And, I think most of these countries are waiting for the rest of the world to catch up. But you are going to see, I think, some countries moving forward with regardless of what other countries are going to do. North America, including FedWire. Remember, FedWire is about $4.2 trillion. 1 second. Let's just bring this up here. How much value is processed in Fed now per day and per year in 2020? Okay, let's just pull that up. While that's pulling up, let me just read up the last few things here for you. Here's the key timeline, right? July 14th and November 22nd, 2025. That is when the mission will be completed. Oh my God. Hey, it popped in my mind. The new, John Wick, the ballerina movie or whatever is coming out this weekend. I am so pumped. I am such a huge John Wick fan. I freaking love John Wick. If you like John Wick, you should watch Wick is Pain. It's like a documentary on how they filmed all the movies and all like the drama behind the scenes. It was so cool. All right, focus, Robert. FedNow, how much is processed per day? Yeah, Q1. So this is Q1. FedNow processed an average of 540 for Q1 2025. The total value settled in payments was 48 million billion. Hold on. I said FedNow. It's FedWire. Yeah, Robert. I do apologize, guys. I got started talking about John Wick and like my brain scatter. All right, there it is. Okay. So average day here, you're looking at $4.5 trillion. There you go. See, I had it right. I just needed to reconfirm that, make sure what I was telling you is accurate, which it is. There's also some information here about Deloitte, the use of cryptocurrency. This is June 2025, brand new document. All right. And then I loaded some of the information here. I wanted to understand some connections between Ripple and Deloitte. And here those are: technology integrations and proof of concepts. So you remember there was a Temenos T24 Ripple's integrated into that. Deloitte has demonstrated the integration of Ripple's blockchain technology into T24, a widely used core banking software using the Blue Altitude gateway. This integration enables real-time cross-border payments between banks without relying on an intermediary banking relationship. It also talks about pioneering cross-border payments. The objective of these projects was to show banks that they could send payments, both local and foreign currencies, directly in real time, significantly reducing transaction times and fees and liquidity requirements. Talks about exploration of multiple blockchain platforms. Deloitte's Rubik's team has explored various technologies, including Ripple, Ethereum, and Iris. A lot of this stuff was, aimed at client-originated blockchain solutions. Talks about educational initiatives, business ventures. Deloitte Tomatsua Ripple Mark LLC, Deloitte Japan launched a new company, Deloitte Ripple Mark LLC, through an acquisition of Ripple Mark Inc. I don't know if that's the same. IT-based engineering firm, while is not directly linked. Okay, so it's not the same. Excuse me. It talks about consultation and Ripple blockchain. So interesting stuff. Just to take a look at some of this document here, talks about why consider using crypto. More than 6,000 businesses accept Bitcoin as means of payment, according to an estimate early 2024. An increasing number of companies worldwide are using Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as digital assets for a host of all investments, operational and transactional purposes. Based on a survey polling a sample of 2,000 senior executives at U.S. consumer businesses, merchants are embracing digital currency payments with the hope of gaining a competitive advantage in the market and in the belief that the use of digital currency will continue to expand. Big brands are accepting customer payments in Bitcoin to purchase everything from groceries to airline tickets. You can also use XRP to do that as well. Some sports teams and associations are not only accepting cryptocurrency, but are also exploring the use of tokens to create more immersive fan experiences. More and more retailers are accepting Bitcoin to access additional customers who prefer to pay that way. One can even buy real estate and luxury vehicles using Bitcoin. So we understand that the world is starting to wake up. They're starting to realize that cryptocurrency can be used for a ton of really unique ways to make our lives easier, to speed up, to save, to transact, to get rid of the third party middleman that is always taking their fee and their cut. How much money could you save in a 5 or 10 year period if you bought a house or a car, or you did something where you had to send value or payment to somebody and you could have gotten rid of that third party? I know in real estate, when you have to pay for the escrow company and, all of these different third parties, all of that stuff should be on blockchain, have and handle instantaneously. Deloitte showcases integration of Ripple's technology into Temenos T24, allowing real-time international payments. This is back in 2016. This is 9 years ago. Ripple was solving these problems. What is Ripple going to solve next? I'll leave that to you. Let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you. Nothing in this video should be taken as financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. Please seek financial advice if you need it. Let's get back to the video.